Thank you all for joining us for the Calvert St. Mary's Metropolitan Planning Organization Council and TAC meeting. I'm going to hand the meeting over to Commissioner Alderson to run and call us to order.
Good morning, everyone. So go ahead and do call this meeting to order. It was going to give me a hand here, Mr. Cohen, since I'm sort of behind the 8 ball here.
Yes, we'll do. All right. We do have a quorum here, so we can be called to order. We have Tyson Byrne here, and we have Commissioner Alderson and Commissioner Hance appearing virtually.
Okay.
The next item, we'll just do a brief round of introductions and guests, if that's okay.
That sounds great.
Okay, so I will just start in the room here. I am Ben Cohen. I'm the administrator for the Calvert St. Mary's MPO.
I'm Tyson Byrne. I'm the Regional Planning Manager for the Maryland Department of Transportation in the Office of Planning and Capital Programming, representing the state of Maryland and MDOT.
Okay, and okay, so we've got Courtney Jenkins, Acting Director of LUGM. We've got George Clark, Tri-County Council Transportation Specialist. We've got Jim Gotch, he's the director at DPW. We've got Alec Young, he's the community liaison with NAVAIR. PAX. Correction.
Quite so high.
And we have Allison Swint, and you are the Director of Transportation? Deputy Director of Transportation. So that is who we have in the room. I'm just going to go down my list here to make sure I don't miss anyone. I've got Mary Lehman at the top.
Hi there, good morning. Oops.
And we've already heard from Commissioner Alderson. Commissioner Hance, could you introduce yourself?
So I'm Buddy Hance, President of the Calvert County Board of Commissioners. Good morning.
Thank you for joining us. And we have Bruce. If you could introduce yourself, please.
Hi, I'm the regional planner for the Calvert County and Southern Maryland for the MTA.
We're having some difficulty with your microphone there.
He's with MTA,
Okay, thank you.
regional planning representative for MTA.
And next we have Dan Janasek.
Yeah, Dan Janasek, regional planner here at MDOT, Secretary's Office, helping out with the Metropolitan Planning Organization's electric vehicle infrastructure. And you'll see us on the tour every year with the Secretary as we come visit the commissioners in both counties.
Thank you. And next we have Dan Fogel from DPW.
Good morning, everyone. Dan Fogel, Deputy Director, St. Mary's County DPW.
And next we have Erica Falk.
She's with MTA also.
All right, with MTA. Next we have Jason Levitt with Calvert.
Good morning, everyone. Jason Levitt, Project Engineer, Calvert County Department of Public Works, Capital Projects Division.
Okay. Keep moving these around. And next we have Jessica Gattano.
Good morning. Jessica Gattano, Planner 3 with the Calvert County Planning and Zoning Division Department. Excuse me.
Okay, thank you for joining us. Next we have Sandy Wobbleton.
Good morning, Sandy Wobbleton, Division Chief for Calvert County Transportation.
Thank you for joining us. And finally, we have Sean Barcelona.
Hey y'all, I'm Sean Barcelona. I'm the regional planner for Western and Southern Maryland with MDOT City Highway.
Okay, thank you, everybody. Is there anyone that I missed? Okay, hearing none, we will move on. Commissioner, the next item is a motion to approve the minutes from the June 30th, 2022 MPO meeting.
Is there a motion to approve minutes from June 30th meeting?
Motion to approve MDOT.
Can we get a second?
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Hance. So moved.
Motion on the floor and seconded. Do we have a vote on that? Ayes?
Aye.
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 Okay. There's a unanimous vote.
All right.
The next item
All right.
is we're moving over to the action items, and the first one is the TAC recommendation for approval of the Unified Planning Work Program, fiscal year 2024. So someone from the TAC committee, if you could.
This is Dan at MDOT. I'll recommend approval of the 2024 FY 2024 UPWP and associated projects.
Okay. Do we have to do a, that's enough for the TAC.
Is this something we have to vote on also?
TAC should vote on it, or are people, just ask the TAC members that are present if they're good.
You could do I know at BRTB sometimes tech committee will just say all in favor say aye, and everybody says aye, and then if there's any nays, they just go that way too.
Or I could do it the other way. Does anyone say no?
Hey, usually on the board, when something like that comes up, we just say concur or whatever. So I concur with that. With the recommendation.
George, do you have any issue with it? You're a TAC member.
I have no issues with it. I'm good.
Yeah.
Okay, hearing no objections, we will move the recommendation forward to the MPO Council. The next item is the council adoption of the resolution approving the Unified Planning Work Program, fiscal year 2024. So, council members, if you could motion.
I will motion to approve the UPWP.
Second.
I get a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
I actually would like,
Aye.
I would like to have a discussion on it first.
That's fine.
Certainly.
All right. I just wanted to point out, just for the record shows that we are approving a budget of $240,000 in funds going towards core planning programs and some special funds, specifically the Calvert County Special Study for Cove Point Trail Study, the FDR Boulevard Transformational and Implications Planning Study, Solomon's Shared Use Path Project, and the Lusby Conceptual Design. So I just wanted to get it on the record of what we're approving, rather than just approving a blank document. So with that, I motion that we approve the document for the UPWP.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. The next action item is the submission of this Unified Planning Work Program fiscal year 2024 to MDOT FHWA. So we will do that after this meeting with the approval that we have received today.
We recommend that you do that.
All right.
Okay, the next item is just some discussion items. So I just wanted to, if there's interest, I was going to provide a brief overview of the MPO program for our new council members.
I would appreciate that.
Very good.
Just created this one.
So I just wanted to give everyone a brief overview of the MPO program in case anyone has any questions. So just very briefly, the Metropolitan Planning Organization is a federally mandated and federally funded transportation policy-making organization in the United States that is made up of representatives from local government and governmental transportation authorities. They were created to ensure regional cooperation in transportation planning. The Calvert St. Mary's MPO approves the use of federal funds for future transportation projects, as well as short-term transportation projects and services. And please, if you have any questions as I go through, just please speak up. This is a perfect opportunity to ask questions. We've got most of the authorities in the room. The initial area that comprised the Calvert St. Mary's Metropolitan Planning Organization became an urbanized area after the 2010 census, when the population in the Lexington Park, California, Chesapeake Ranch Estates region surpassed 50,000, which was 58,000. This triggered the federal requirement that these areas form a Metropolitan Planning Organization to coordinate transportation planning between, through, and around these urbanized areas, as it pertains to projects that receive federal funding. That's a key point. It's for federal funding. So what the MPO does, they guide development of projects by establishing goals, evaluate alternatives, facilitate public participation, ensure that proposed plans and programs are in a 3C process, which is the continuous, cooperative, and comprehensive process. Administer, operate, and manage the financing of an area transportation program and plans for long-term goals. These are a few of our plans, and they are available online to look at further, but just to let you be aware, we have our public participation plan, which governs the way we interact and get feedback from our citizens and other organizations. We have our 25-year plan, long-range transportation plan, which is a 4-year update cycle and requires a 45-day public review and comment period. We also have our transportation improvement program. That is a 4-year plan as well, and it's amended as necessary as different financing or programs become available. That requires a 15-day public review. And finally, what we're here for today is the Unified Planning Work Program. That's done annually. It's an annual fiscal plan, and it's amended as necessary, and that also requires a 15-day public review.
So the UPWP is a budgetary type document, so it shows the budget of what the MPO money that's federally designated towards the MPO to do planning studies are used for. Whereas the other, the long-range transportation plan shows out what future projects, long-term projects we want to do, and where the transportation improvement program shows what projects are currently being funded and using or going to be using federal funds in the short term within a 4-year span. And it's actually usually updated, it has to be updated within a 4-year time frame, and usually is every other year or so.
Thank you.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but some of the funding in this year's UPWP is to update the TIP as well as the long-range plan. Is that right?
Yes. Whenever you update the long-range plan, you have to update the TIP also, because they're connected.
Yeah, I think we're sort of planning on beginning the process to update the Transportation Improvement Plan program, the TIP, and the long range plan, I guess, sequentially, right at the same time. We start that process probably in December, and also start the UPWP then, start thinking about projects for next year, since there's about $200,000 remaining unspent. But a lot of that could go to this update of the plans. And but since we just developed the 4-year update of the long-range plan recently, with help from consultant, there's a lot of stuff in there that already deals with some of the new issues that the federal partners want to see in our long-range plans. And so we think we can just update that plan, the document as is, trade out some graphics, come up with a new name if you want, but sort of update the existing document. Or develop a new one. It's really up to you guys. If you want to develop a new one, then think about getting a consultant on board to do that. The TIP is a little easier for us just to amend. That's getting the projects from SHA, MDOT SHA and MDOT MTA, and getting those and local projects and getting those into the TIP. And of course, we'll amend the TIP as necessary. If any large grants are awarded, federal grants are awarded to the county that are transportation related, those will have to be amended into the TIP. And that occurs normally. We don't have a lot of amendments usually in your TIP, but we may get some with all the new IIJ money that's coming through. Thank you.
Thank you, Dan. So just an example of some of the things that the Metropolitan Planning Organization does is we fund special studies. A few of the ones in the past we've done has been a bus stop assessment. We did an assessment of Lexington Park Manor. They worked on an airport innovation district master plan. The St. Andrews Church Road plan to make some improvements there. The Navy-based commuter multimodal study plan, and the most recent one was our complete streets plan, and all those are available on our website if you would like to look at them further. But just to give you an example of some of the things that we study and are looking into, and the variety of projects. And finally, just a brief, I guess, structural outline of the MPO. It's the council at the top with the attorney advising them, and the technical advisory committee is really the core of our council. They are the technical expertise and local citizenry and things that provide valuable feedback. And then we have the MPO operations, MPO staff, and public representation at the bottom. And we are all, of course, governed by our bylaws. So just briefly go over some of our functions. The council sets the regional policy, develops regional vision, assists in prioritizing projects, assess public input, ensure legal consistency and guidance to council and staff. The technical advisory committee, they define the existing transportation system, land use economics, and needs assessment. They identify and pool resources. They undertakes a cost-benefit analysis and resource allocations. And finally, the MPO staff functions. we do operational functions, administration, project overview, project reports and evaluation, review work plans, review RFPs, and monitor project cycle and deliverables. And here's just some of the legal requirements and products that the MPO must produce and adhere to. As we mentioned, we have our Unified Planning Work Program, the Transportation Improvement Plan, the Long Range Transportation Plan. We have performance measures and our resolutions. Next, we have our organizing documents. We have a memorandum of understanding between the partners involved. We have a master agreement, a memorandum of agreement, and our bylaws, which govern our conduct. And then finally, our products, we do special studies such as ones on Great Mills Road and the Thomas Johnson Bridge Project and many others. So that is just a brief overview of the MPO and its functions and how we operate. This last page has our contact information. If you have any questions or comments at this time or in the future, please feel free to reach out.
Now, you want me to move on to discussion items there, Ben?
Yes. So next, I'll ask for Calvert County to, if they have any project updates or planning updates that they would like to make the council aware of at this time.
So the Cove Point Trail study is moving forward. We actually just received the final project bid documents from the consultants, so we'll be moving forward with that with our Parks and Recreation Department to hopefully secure those funds. I should say get the project rolling. We did request an additional $10,000 in this year's UPWP, as I think when we assessed it a couple years ago, costs were definitely lower. That's the one I'm directly involved in at this time, and I think that Jason is a little bit more involved in the other two in Calvert.
Thank you, Jessica. So we have a proposed Solomon Shared Use Path project. It is a very macro level feasibility study for a shared use path on the south side of Solomons Island Road in Solomons, Maryland. It's starting at 14236 South Solomons Island Road, which, if you're familiar, is around Langley Lane. And the project limits are proposed to extend down to Alexander Street. The result that we're hoping for and the project objective is basically to analyze and memorialize the existing condition and basically explore the theoretical possibility of installing the shared use path along the south side, determining what types of property acquisition would be required, if any, or whether the proposed width of the shared use path will fit within the existing county right-of-way. So it's sort of the first step in the process of, the project feasibility. The next project is the Lusby Parkway Extension Conceptual Design. So previously we did an in-house feasibility study to determine the need and the scope for the roadway extension. It was determined that there was need. So the next step in the process is a conceptual design, which basically will evaluate all of the items in the feasibility study from an engineering standpoint and a conceptual standpoint, take a look at the existing right-of-way available, determine if there are any needs, run sort of a conceptual sketch, and then resulting in pictures, view corridors, and a conceptual plan layout. That's all I've got. If anybody has any questions, feel free to speak up, or I'll yield the floor back to Ben.
Okay, hearing no questions on those programs, St. Mary's, we will update you on our projects and planning updates. You wanna, oh, is that working? Perfect.
All right, Jim Gotch, Public Works and Transportation. I'll start with our STS, where I think I've mentioned most of these things to you guys before, but we're switching to bus stops. We actually have a plan that we're sending back to State Highway next week. So it's now going to show the actual locations of the bus stops. And if we get it approved, we're going to start hanging signs instead of flag stops. We've got the CDC down here, Community Development Corp, I think is what it is. They're providing us funding for bus shelters in the MPO area. We just got approved a driver pay increase. So now we're comparable with Charles and Calvert. Stop raising your pay rates over there. Fiscal year 24, we're going to start looking at not installing, but figuring out where we need infrastructure for electric charging stations for buses. So we're going to need, we're not part of the MPO, but we're going to need to start talking about Hughesville as well, and what happens at the campus up there. We have a DSIP. It's an agreement with the Navy to do sidewalk construction between Gates 1 and Gate 2 on 235. That's actually finally under construction. We're making some modifications to the plans right now to eliminate some of the porous pavement in lieu of a stormwater management device. So construction should finish up late summer this year. We're also working on FDR Boulevard. We've got 2 phases that are underway right now. This will provide sidewalk and bicycle access from California all the way down to Lexington Park, and will eventually pick up the trail, the 3-notch trail, and run all the way north to the Charles County line. We have a 3A construction that's under construction right now. It goes to Buck Hewitt Road. And then our 3B construction goes from Buck Hewitt all the way down to Peg Road to Gate 1, really close to the Navy DSIP sidewalk we're building. We've got 4 properties, I think, that we still need to acquire, and then we'll go to construction as soon as we get properties. Maryland Route 4, we had our quarterly meeting with State Highway. We wanted to extend the second northbound lane all the way to the Thomas Johnson Bridge. There's a culvert crossing that State Highway says is problematic, so the county is going to take that on and start looking at us trying to extend a culvert so that the state can then, it'd be easier for them to extend the pavement. And then the Thomas Johnson Bridge. We had the toll booth company come down and make a presentation to the commissioners in St. Mary's County in April. And then following that, we had our State Highway quarterly meeting, explained what the process would be if the commissioners decided to move forward. I'm not saying they're thinking about it or not thinking about it. It's just if that were to go forward, that the state would have to dedicate the bridge to the county, most likely Calvert County, and then the county would have to dedicate that to the toll bridge company. And State Highway was not keen on that idea. So that's all. I don't know if I'm forgetting something else.
No, that's great. Okay. Is there any questions on any of those projects for Jim or I? Okay.
No questions, but this is Dan. That'll be some interesting topics for the fall tour this year, Jim and Jessica.
No doubt.
And Jason.
So those weren't just the MPO projects though, right? Those were in general.
Correct. It's everything, and
Okay.
everything Public Works is working with.
Cool. Thanks for the update.
I got a question, Jim. Are you guys planning on going for a CFI grant? Just curious. A lot of people weren't really quite ready for that. The charging infrastructure discretionary grant. You guys know about that one?
It's in the box. It's in my inbox. Yes, and
Gotcha.
so
Yeah.
I've got somebody who's looking at it, and yes, we want to head that direction. I'm not sure we're there yet. I'm not sure we make the deadline this year.
Yeah, it's pretty tough. You got to have a site. You got to have the power, have done some investigation and all that, and maybe even plan for it. There'll be future rounds. Just FYI, we're getting ready to launch a tool that will help with the CFI applicants do equity analysis and other things, depending on the site they choose to meet all the federal requirements. So when you get ready, just let us know, and we can help our consultant hook you up with them, and you can work with them. Especially on the CFI, if it's a corridor application. But yeah, those things are we only have a handful that we know of in the state so far that might be applying for those.
Okay, thank you.
Yep, and our NEVI program, we may get out later this year, so we'll be coordinating with the counties on any applicants that may come in requesting NEVI funding for the National Electric Vehicle Infrastructure charging grant program. It's a formula program for the state, FY. Thanks.
It should also be noted that MDOT, in the Office of Planning, Capital Programming, we have, and our Office of Government Affairs have been working together to work on getting staffing or consultants help to help with locals go after grants. So we are in the process of getting people on staff to help write grants for locals or to coordinate getting those grants written if you have projects but need help actually physically writing the grants and stuff.
Awesome.
So keep in touch with Dan, and we will be able to help you write the grants and go after grants in that aspect of stuff. There is also information on our website talking about this and providing information on what grants are accessible and available to the locals and to the state in general.
Excellent, thank you.
Yeah, Tyson, I put some of that information in the chat for everybody too. Our federal grant information page, and then discretionary grants word to MDOT. Thanks.
Great. Dan, George Clark, Acting Director for Transportation Director, that is, for the Tri-County Council. I want to bring something to the committee and the council here, is that the Tri-County Council was asked last year to take over St. Mary's County's strategic highway safety plan by the Highway State Office. And we're going to have that completed here at the end of the month. And I know we got some hot spots down here in the MPO. Is that something that we ought to take a look at in this committee as to how we could rectify these hot spots? I know that Calvert County's plan is also going to be done. If I'm making that statement correct, Jessica, you could probably add more to that, but yours is going to be done as well at the end of the month.
I would say end of the month, June, probably June is when it'll be finalized.
Great. So I guess my question is, when we have the final plan, I have the rough draft right now, but we're waiting to get the final draft, is on some of those recommendations at these hot spots located here in the MPO. Is that something that this body should look at and address?
As a board member, I would recommend that, yes, that there be a technical committee meeting established at some point to go over and address this and potentially some other issues so that they can be worked into work programs in next year. So having just approved this UPWP, it won't be able to be, or it may be added also. You could possibly do an amendment and add it later in the year. But looking at this and discussing these topics might be a good thing for the tech committee to take up.
Great, thank you.
Okay, hearing nothing further, let's move on to other business. Is there any other business to be brought up?
Oh, no, never mind. Sorry. Never mind. Different meeting.
Tri-County Health.
Yeah, yeah.
Is there any other business that anyone needs to bring up or discuss? Okay, hearing none, I will open the floor for the public comment. The MPO has not received any comments to date, and hearing none at this time, we will close the comment period. All right, this brings us to the end. If we can have a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Motion's on the floor. It's been seconded.
Yeah.
Has it been seconded? Sorry.
MDOT seconds.
All in favor of adjournment? Say aye.
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 Meeting adjourned.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks for bearing with me.